big crowd in, of course, huge expectation. And the usual grand reception for the Chinese superstar Ding Junhui. What a victory it was for him yesterday. But standing in his way of a 15th ranking title today, the formidable Judd Trump, who's had another spectacularly consistent season. This is his 8th final. Remarkable, really, in this day and age when the standard is so high and there are so many players capable of causing upsets, even in the early rounds. But here he is once again playing for the prize. And that is £170,000 and that trophy over the best of 19 frames, the first to 10 to claim the title. There'll be 9 in this first session, a possible 10 this evening.
Yeah, please.
What an occasion, the final of the World Open. Both of these players are former champions in this tournament. 19 frames to decide who will lift the trophy once again.
So that 84 clearance from Ding Junhui has kept this final alive. 8-3. Trump still with a very handsome lead. And of course he did nothing wrong. He was just unlucky. But he did lose the frame. Something putting him off. It's that end is where the photographers are. I don't want to pin the blame on anybody, but it's not the audience at that end. It is it'll be officials and photographers and people working on the event.
Yeah, I made the point. I mean, of course, he can pop terrific long balls, but he's not. That's not something he'd be #1 in the world at. Now, what's happened? Judd just waiting and seeing what he can pot here. Might be looking at double. Seen a lot of those go in this week, doubles. His attempt would be to have covered that left-hand red. Could be that he also plays a double to right middle.
Just thinking, looking at Ding, it's 19 years now since he won the 2005 China Open in Beijing. It wasn't the first ranking event in China, but it was by far the most significant because his victory at the age of just 18 sparked the boom that all the players since have been able to benefit from. Of course, we had to take a pause because of the pandemic. It's been great to be back in China, and the enthusiasm of the fans. At times, obviously, have to be told to calm down, but it's brilliant to see. And that is also brilliant to see if you're a Judd Trump fan. What a pot to get himself in.
Amazing red, wasn't it? And I think Ding was quite happy to leave him it because he played the double knowing it was there.
Yeah, there's been, of course, 4 tournaments here in China this season. There's going to be another one in Jan next season, a ranking event, and who knows after that. But Judd Trump, if he were to win here, in fact, whoever won out of the two of them, they would have won 7 ranking titles in China, tying Mark Selby's record.
9. 14.
Well, he's going into the bunch again. I wonder if in the back of his mind he's hoping that the same fate doesn't come his way as in the previous frame where he knocked a red in on this shot. It's a really good split. He hit the pink square on, and the reds have gone everywhere, most of them in open play.
Yeah, it looks like help yourself time now. But we know, and we saw it in the last frame in a different scenario, one shot can turn things. They're all there for ding as well if he falters here.
$28. $34. 35. $41. 42.
He's really pleased to move that red that's to the left of the black. It's just stopping him from playing on the black to both corners. Not feeling that that was the right moment to do so. I mean, he doesn't have to shift it, but it would make things even easier. But it does look very much like a chance to add another frame. When the reds split in the way they did, a complete contrast to the previous frame where he knocked one in.
49.
It's all very neat, isn't it, the way that he's playing. In fact, the pair of them in this evening's session, the cue ball has been
55.
a very good control. Often playing into an area where more than
56.
one red would be available. More so in the case of Judd, whereas Ding was just immaculate in the previous frame when he had the chance. Not a lot to do to get another frame one and get to within a frame of the title.
52. $63.
Yeah, this pink is the ball. Just checking. Wants another red though. It's one snooker needed at the moment. And then he'll want another century. Judd Trump was born in August 1989. At that time, the undisputed king of snooker was Steve Davis. He was world champion. He was world #1. If Trump wins this final, he will have equalled Steve Davis's tally of 28 ranking titles. Very different era back then. When he turned pro, there was actually only one ranking tournament, the World Championship. And of course, as the talisman of the 80s, he
76.
had a lot to do with the fact the circuit built up to where we are now. Even so, in this era that's so competitive, to have won that many at such a young age is very, very impressive. And you just know there'll be more as well. Of course, RonnieO'Sullivan is out in front on 41.
$83.
Bearing in mind, Trump won his first 13 years ago, so it's actually 28 in 13 years. Well, he could well have made a century in the last frame, but for the knocking that red in off the blue. But, of course, he made one in the first of the night.
92.
And needs to get on this last red now to make one in the third of the night. Yeah, it's not exactly on it ideally. Didn't matter, in all the way.
It's amazing, isn't it, to have the ability to pop when you're close in and then you lose position and you can pop an amazing ball like that Reddy did down the cushion just then. That's a pity he didn't go on and give us a few more thrills.
Well, there may be some more in what could now be the last frame coming up. 106 from Trump. He's on the brink, one away from retaining the title, leading 9-3. Trump needs one more, and he's champion in Yushan.
Well, he might have left the red available by the black, next to the black, and I see no reason why Ding would refuse it, because I don't see that you can afford to just wait for something to happen. Wait for your opponent to miss, because Judd isn't missing. Somehow find the initiative yourself. Ding's got to do that, but he's overcut it by a mile. And he's in again. Of course, he took that break, didn't he? Didn't play in the Welsh Open, Judd, and some people criticised him for it. But I think he was entitled to have a week off. I mean, the Welsh has always been a well sort of received event. Players love playing in it. As far as the home nations, are all good, but that's the one that's been going the longest. But he took the week off, which he doesn't do very often, and come back, and it's probably paid dividends.
Yeah, I think Trump wouldn't miss a tournament unless he felt he needed to. So he made the decision and can't really argue with it now. This is his first chance to win the title. They're blessed, aren't they? There's so many tournaments. If you're at the top of the game, you do get the choice. Right, we've seen RonnieO'Sullivan manage his season really superbly. But of course, they will both be at the Crucible, and we don't yet know exactly who's going to be seeded where, whether they could meet in the final, the semi-finals, we'll find out. But it kind of feels like they are on a collision course there. They've been the two players of the season. A lot of other people, of course, will have a say in that. But in a few weeks' time, we're going to find out.
14.
There is the curveball, of course, in Sheffield, potentially playing Neil Robertson in round one. We know he's got to qualify now after yesterday's defeat.
Yes, and from what I saw of Neil Robertson, his game is certainly coming back into shape. I thought he was, it's an odd thing to say, I thought he was almost a better player yesterday against Ding. Just couldn't quite get the result.
Well, this has gone wrong Not much has this evening.
Yes, he's very good at getting into the reds and opening them up, but they didn't really move. So now, with touching ball, he can play directly away from a red. I think touching ball's called, yeah. Players sometimes get a little greedy, if you like, on that shot, and they play in behind a colour. And, of course, if you don't get the snooker, you leave a possible red. But he has got the snooker. No, it's not very nice, is it? Not only is he in trouble, he knows that if he does make a mistake, then this could easily be the last shot he plays. And the kind of form his opponent is in. Can't think that Judd has missed a ball in live play tonight. He just played that foul, knocked the red in. That's all he's done wrong, really. Didn't get position just now, but he didn't end up missing anything. Playing a little swerve. Probably as good as he could have hoped for that. But again, there is a thin red to right corner, and I'm not sure Judd will refuse it. There's one to the middle as well. Well, there is a ball that's missed, although it wasn't an easy one. Still would count against him on that score. Not sure if he can get through to the red close to the pocket, though, here, Ding. Maybe just. Might have to play with a trace of left-hand side. It's not an easy shot to pot it from there. Put too much on it, too much of the red, perhaps. Done well. Well, the crowd would like to see a lot more of this match, of course. Many are supporting Ding Junhui. We heard that yesterday. There's no question who they're supporting. But I think even a neutral might want Ding to come back into this match. Make more of a game of it than it has been.
Yeah, I mean, the last ranking final to go to a decider was 14 months ago now. It was January last year. It was Trump actually lost it to Mark Allen at the World Grand Prix. We did have a 10-8 at the Players' Championship, but a lot of finals now seem to be quite one-sided. This could yet get closer, of course.
Thirteen. Fourteen. 20. 21.
Yes, he put in a little bit of a quick one there, as sometimes he does on the more powerful shots he might play. The Reds have not opened up very well. Recovery shot to middle required here. I think a bit of an annoyance will be that he's now queuing directly over the red if he plays the black, which means it's awkward. Could have finished anywhere down that right side and not been hampered by the red. It's a shot he played particularly well. There was a couple yesterday, cut-back pinks that
35.
sent the cue ball around the angles. I don't see how he could have played it any better than that, landing on a red. I think he had a little bit of right-hand side or left-hand side on there, which kind of checked the cue ball. What do you do here? Do you roll up behind the green? Doesn't want to play it really, but he might have no choice. The blue does not leave an obvious red. He's going to play it anyway. I don't know if he's out of frustration. Looks like he's attempting to pot his way out of this situation
41.
because that was a tough blue to play on a possibly even tougher red along the cushion.
Guess he's reached that point now where he's going to kind of throw his arm at a few. Another tough one, this. Yeah, it looked wide.
Junhui, 41.
He just can't keep potting difficult balls, especially with the pressure he's under.
No, he's gone from the elation of last night, that extraordinary win over Neil Robertson. He actually said at the end, I can't feel my legs. He was so sort of nervous and discombobulated by it all, to now the other side of snooker, which is when you're on the end of quite a heavy defeat, which looks quite likely, even if he wins this frame. Well, he sits down looking a bit frustrated. He's open reds up, but he has left a long one on.
Well, this time he somehow has put both of the high-value colours into awkward positions, which he could have absolutely done without.
请大家保持安静。
Might just decide to bring one of them back into play and play safe here. Only a few behind, but I think he'd rather the big value colours out in open play. Yeah, he's going to try and move the black to the accompaniment of a mobile phone. Going off somewhere in the stadium. I think that's the right shot, get the black
在全部1。
into a better spot than it was in. Oh, you're going for this as well. Goodness me. There's just signs that he wants to go for everything now, because the blue followed by the red in the last visit, and now that was not really a Ding Junhui sort of shot. I think the frustration of the occasion and the pressure that Judd's put him under has made him take on shots that he wouldn't usually have played.
Yeah, and he's opening up a frame where he's in front. You know, usually you do the opposite. You try and close it down. And he could have left an absolute sitter there, and he could have finished anywhere, the balls. Well, he comes to the table rather quickly here, because it doesn't look like Trump's quite got the cover.
I agree with you. I didn't think he'd got the cover either, but he now has changed his mind. Felt that red might be part of what it's sometimes awkward when there is a ball very close to your line and where the cue ball is. I suspect he can get to this, but it is a tight one, of course. Amazing what you can see behind the line of the shot as we get a terrific view watching behind the camera. Say one thing for Ding Junhui, you know, he will go up to 7 in the world, And you go back to before last season's UK Championship, he was into the 30s. People said he was a bit of a spent force at the game. Hadn't shown any real motivation. But he's right there where he should be, single-figure ranking.
10.
Yeah, where he belongs, absolutely. Now then, he needs a couple of reds here to take us to the interval.
11.
Well, one thing he hasn't got is an angle on the black that's suitable. So I'm not sure quite where the next red will come from now. Just couldn't get close to a red. If you're going to play the one down the cushion, then really it's a little bit all or nothing.
18.
I mean, it would be the red that he needs, but it's quite difficult. Played it with almost an escape route, but didn't he play it well?
Junhui, 19.
So he's 37 in front with 35 on, and he's got trump snookered. It's looking like 9-4. Well, it's over the pocket. So frame conceded. So Ding has hung on, but Judd Trump, remember, the 2 frames he won tonight were both with centuries. He's still a heavy favourite for victory, but we are going to the mid-session interval. Trump leading 9-4.
Judd Trump to break.
To him, he needs one more. Ding needs what feels like a bit of a miracle comeback. He did, of course, win the pre-interval frame. He was 7-2 down coming into tonight. Trump's had 2 centuries already in this session. But that is an absolute perler from Ding.
1.
What a beautiful shot.
Yeah, he didn't mean to get on the black quite like that, and he was on it.
1.
And I would expect him to get it, but it was not a simple black, I'll say.
保持安静，谢谢。1.
Well, he did have a chance in the previous frame, a couple actually, but here we go again. Trump needing one more to retain this title. Of course, he won it in 2019.
Yes, he's awkward on the red to the corner, but he's got the backup red to the right middle.
8.
You know, on the assumption that Judd goes on to win. There's not that many players have lifted titles this season. It's been the same players doubling up and trebling up. Someone that has won a couple of ranking events that you know, wasn't thought of as a real big hitter as Gary Wilson. He's won a couple of home nations events, so well done to him. You know, he's one of the winners, having done so, as I say, twice. We're just seeing a lot of tournaments won by the same players, aren't we? Mark Allen's won a couple, and of course Ronnie, we know about that. Zhang An has been in a final as well as winning a really big event pre-Christmas, the International. So you know, maybe with the World Championships coming, there's a chance for others to step up and play the best snooker at the biggest of them all. But it's the same old faces.
Yeah, and that's what's intriguing about the Crucible. Will it be one of those, or will it be someone like last year? Luca Brissell sort of came, not out of nowhere by any means, but in terms of his pedigree there, he wasn't fancied. We'll find out. April the 20th. And of course, before that, the qualifiers, April the 8th.
Yeah, just because
remove the.
as we wait for the
Thank you.
balls to be replaced. Last year, Luca Bracel started with the Championship League, didn't he, at the start of the ranking event version, finished it with the World Championships. On that basis, Sean Murphy will be world champion, but it doesn't always work quite like that.
$16.
Yes, of course, the World Championship looms large, but we mustn't
23.
brush aside how difficult it is to win tournaments like this. These flat 1-8 events, playing every day, coming to China, sort of battling, you know, problems with sleep and all the rest of it, just turning up every day and putting in a good enough display, which he's done. And he certainly produced some great stuff in this match, not least in this session.
$24.
That's a very good shot. It's worked out delightfully. Look at what he's left. 3 reds right in the centre of the table to
31.
extend his lead. He will be a little
32.
disappointed if he doesn't get the match won here. The kind of form he's been in this evening, he's been terrific. I know he only shared the first 4 frames, but goodness me, he was good. It was only perhaps where he knocked that red in where he came unstuck in the 2nd frame of the evening. He probably would have
39.
knocked in a century there as well.
$40. $47. $48.
Seems to have looked at the 2 reds at the bottom of the bunch to the left corner as if he thinks perhaps they're a plant. He's got another red anyway, so the red at the top of the bunch also is there, but he is keen on the bottom 2.
55.
Yeah, well, they're absolutely in line, aren't they? Absolutely dead in line.
So he's got the reds where he needs them. He's already 55 in front.
$58.
Didn't finish great here.
No, I think he just overhit that slightly. I'm sure he played on the top red to the right corner. He might end up playing the same red to the middle pocket instead. Depends on whether he feels he can get position doing that. The left-hand red is quite an acute angle. It might go to middle, but he'd have to play it slowly. Yeah, I think he's going to still play the red to right corner, despite the cue ball having to go all around the angles. never in, was it? I think he must have hit the jaws of the middle pocket there. Because people didn't expect to see over on that left side of the table like that.
请大家保持安静，谢谢。
He'd be annoyed there because he probably might have felt he could have closed the match out with that visit.
Yeah, it would surely have been over had that gone in, but it hasn't. So a lifeline thrown to Ding.
1.
Yeah, it is a lifeline. It's the last life, isn't it, that he's going to get. Either he does this visit, or surely the match is completely gone. He was on the brink of that, wasn't he? But this chance has appeared.
Eight. Nine. Fifteen. 16.
Whatever he does do here, you'd expect that it comes down to that left-hand red up the table. As I mentioned earlier, when Judd was at the table, it's a question of does it roll into the middle slowly? Will he end up playing the double, depending on where he finishes, but it's a very narrow angle to middle.
23.
You can see it even better from that shot that it's not easy. And of course it's more relevant to whether he clears up than anything. Might be in a position to just nudge it further up the cushion from the next red, depending on where he finishes here. Yeah, I think if he could, he will try and flick that red closer to the left middle than it is now.
30. 31.
Tried and failed. Definitely what he played.
The frustration of that shot is a microcosm of the frustration in general in how he's played in this final, because he has played great stuff all week.
Well, it's his sort of shot as well that he didn't manage to achieve there. Lovely touch player. I think he's gone too far for the double, so this is the shot he's faced with, and it is that
35.
same option to the middle. If he wants to play it at all, it looks as if he might be even considering not doing so. Yeah, he didn't go for that. A lot of people might have thought he did.
35.
The key thing here is all those 22 behind, they're all there if he does get a chance at this red, so this frame's still in the balance.
Trump doesn't want that one back. He's happy with that outcome.
Miss. Ding Junhui, 4.
It's not an easy replacement because even a millimetre either way, I mean, surely it was not anything like this, was it? can't have been like that. Must have been over more because he wouldn't have played that shot. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult replacement. I'm not saying anything about the standard refereeing. I'm just saying it's an awkward one because it, you know, he's playing a deft little swerve around, but the balls, if they're slightly wrong, the shot becomes almost impossible or too easy.
Good technology, though, isn't it? We don't have that for some reason in the UK events, but it got it sorted out quickly.
Wonder if he can get the elevation here. Again, it wasn't anything like that. But, I mean, sometimes a player might even get the spider out for a shot like this and just cue down on the ball. You get better elevation because he's got to get a swerve, and the more you raise the butt of the cue, the more swerve spin you would get. Both shots have been almost identical in the way that he's missed them. The other problem he's got here, if he plays it any slower, the spin will take more, but you're playing against the nap, and of course, left-hand side will go to the right against the nap, played very gently. I don't know if it would come into the equation here, but he might have to play a different shot before too long.
请大家保持安静。
Not getting anywhere, is he, Dave?
No, and the points are racking up, and the crowd are kind of... They've seen so much great snooker this week, they can't believe he keeps missing it. It's 4 times now.
Yeah, almost identical shots as well. The attempts haven't really got any better. He's got to get more elevation. Yeah. I think he just got the butt of the cue raised a little more there, and that enabled that slight amount more spin to be placed on the ball. Judd might be able to put some distance between the two balls here if he can. Play off the cushion and shift the red down the table. Giving him a half chance, Ding. This is not easy at all, but it's a shot he won't be refusing.
Big shot. Could be his last. If he misses it, if he gets it, we could be going into another frame. Oh, hang on. Well, it looked, for a minute, those kisses might have been good until he went in off.
Yeah, I think he was a bit unlucky to glance off both blue and green.
Trump won't need that blue that's gone safe. In goes the red, so another chance for Judd Trump to get this one.
Yeah, the blue going safe, not a problem, is it, for Judd? It would be a problem for Ding if he got back to the table. Of course, he can get the match won before that ball is the ball on the blue.
It's actually been a brilliant session, hasn't it? It's just that obviously Trump came into it with such a commanding lead.
Been very good. Ding has played a lot better this evening, strangely, but
8.
with so much to do from this afternoon, especially with Judd Trump arguably playing even better snooker. Meanwhile, Zhu Ying, the referee's got enough to contend with, putting the balls back, officiating the game and keeping the crowd under control.
Well, the green is for the title. It's to put him 23 in front with 22 on. There was a moment there, absolute calm, wasn't there? Everyone went quiet.
13.
So Judd Trump, poised for the third time in his career to have won at least 5 ranking titles in a season. For the third time to have gone over £1 million prize money for a season. And he's going to tie the great Steve Davis in 4th place on the all-time list of ranking event winners with 28.
Judd Trump, 17.
Unless Ding gets these snookers.
Yeah, he's probably got to carry on. He needs 2 to win. Most unlikely. But if you don't try, you'll never find out. Looked in, but it just pulled away ever so slightly at the last couple of rolls. Now 2 on the
5.
pink and black. I've seen it done, but only about once or twice ever.
Well, if he ends up winning the frame and the title, we'll be talking about this in 40 years. That's how unlikely it is, but he's given it a go. He's had a great week, Ding. It's great to see him playing well. I think all fans, certainly here in China, but right around the world, like seeing him knocking in the big breaks. But something about Judd Trump in these finals, he seems to play his best snooker of the week when he gets to a final. He's so good at getting wins on the board, getting through those early rounds, and then turning up for big occasions like this. I feel sure if this wasn't the end of the match, he wouldn't be trying to get these, but he's just feeling he should give it some sort of go. It's very hard.
Yeah, I mean, to get 2, 1 is extremely difficult. You've got to get it almost straight away because of the chance of the person who's in front just putting the balls over the pockets, or in the pockets in this case.
Yeah, that's it now. Judd Trump's brilliant season continues here in Yushan. He wins his 5th ranking title of a campaign that is not yet over to defend the World Open title.
Junhui